So, Soulframe's Devstream number 11 ended last night, and it gave us a breakdown of what to expect with Preludes 12 and the launch of their Founders program, both dropping on November the 25th in 10 days' time. So let's just jump right in and keep it short and sweet and to the point. Now, Founders is arriving in 4 tiers. There is the 3 Wyld tiers, where there is the Wyld Tetherin, which is the fighter envoy. Then there is the Wyld Saren, which is the assassin envoy. And then there is the Wyld Oshelda, which is the mage-styled envoy. Now, envoys, of course, are your character, and the Wyld versions are effectively like primed Warframes, which will be releasing later on as well. So they're not totally exclusive. Now, in these packs, you're going to get a unique envoy variant. There is extra keys for your friends. It will give you access to the game, armor, talisman, a themed main weapon and sidearm, a unique bird cosmetic. There is premium currency, there is stitching materials. There is also a special flower that you can plant in the Founders Garden in Eternium, and that garden is going to act as a social space where founders can plant their flower, which will show their name on it indefinitely, and then players can also hang out there if they want to. Now, the fourth and I guess the most expensive Founders tier is the Paragon tier, and it's going to include everything from the 3 previous Wyld packs, but it's also going to add more on top. There is a Paragon board cosmetic, there is extra materials, there is probably extra currency, and there is the Paragon Greatsword, which is a brand new weapon grip coming with Preludes 12. Now, the Paragon Greatsword is exclusive to the Paragon bundle, but just how exclusive it actually is, they explained it during the dev stream, and they made it very clear. The Paragon Greatsword is the only item that is truly Founders exclusive to obtain. That's the important part. You cannot get it through gameplay, but it is not permanently locked to paying players. If a founder levels their Paragon Greatsword up enough, they can then craft a tradable schematic. That schematic can be gifted to or traded to other players, and anyone who receives it can craft that sword. The crafted version of that Greatsword will carry the founder's name on it as part of it being an exclusive item, so founders can originate the weapon, but they don't get to gatekeep it. They can trade it to other players. Now, on top of this, the Wylds, or the prime versions of these envoys, aren't going to be exclusive either. Players will be able to earn these further down the line, with a bit of a long grind involved, according to Steve, a bit of a trial that you might have to go through. So there is no, I guess, Excalibur Prime variant when it comes to the Soulframe Founders pack. They also said that they are purposefully keeping the prices of these packs pretty low, considering the climate, I guess, in the world right now, and how there is a bit of a cost of living crisis in most countries, and they don't want to extortionately overprice things and push people out of jumping into the game. And when it comes to consoles, you can expect the Founders packs to reopen once Soulframe eventually makes its way onto console as well. Considering it is in pre-alpha on PC right now, it's not going to make its way to console until it is in a much better position. Now, next up, they mentioned the new Agari system, or the Koga Mode, which is essentially Soulframe's new hard mode, or steel path, if you will. Now, first, the Agari is the new name been given to the open world sub-bosses. In Preludes 12, every Agari is being reworked. They'll have more phases, tougher behaviour, better drops, and they'll start appearing in more locations like the Undercity, the Glades, and so on, because right now it's kind of static locations where they spawn in. Now, the Koga ties directly into this. Lore-wise, it is a bit of a fae ritual where you will basically drink a potion that can opt in and turn on a hard mode. You craft a special elixir using mushrooms from the Agari that you're going to kill and from Forminia. Drinking it will shift your entire world into a darker, more hostile state. Enemies will rise in level. Your character gets a bit of a debuff in its powers. Your abilities might have longer cooldowns. Health elixirs will drop less often, and your abilities will be less effective. Only one squad member has to drink the actual elixir for the whole team to enter into that darker mode. And to complete this ritual, you're going to have to defeat the Agari while under the effect. Now, if you die or you run away, the ritual will end and you will wake up back in camp with a bit of a hangover sequence. It's designed for optimized builds, and I guess for players who really want to challenge themselves over the normal difficulty. So again, like I said, it's basically Steel Path for Soulframe. Now, when it comes to casting voiceovers recently with digital extremes, it has been a bit of a whirlwind with some of the voice actors that they've added. Soulframe is no different.
Greetings, Envoys. I am Jennifer English, and you may know me as Shadowheart in Baldur's Gate 3, or Mael in Expedition 33, or Carlotta in Wuthering Waves, or Latenna in Elden Ring, just depending on what games you play, I suppose. But soon, You will hear me somewhere new. I had the strangest dream, you see, of a fairy who spoke in threes. She told me thus: beyond the veil, from whence I hail, where all is fae and flora, I'm growing weak and cannot speak. So I've a question for you. Lend me your voice. You haven't a choice. Soon they'll call us Allura. And naturally, I said yes. And we simply cannot wait to meet you.
Jennifer English is joining Soulframe as Allura, the Empress of Elvell, and they've said her whole character is tied to the idea of power and nature and song as well, but we'll learn more of her character in a future date. Now back to weapons. Preludes 12 introduces greatswords as a new grip. The Paragon blade is the founder variant, like I spoke about earlier, but the weapon type itself is not exclusive, right? They showed at least 2 in-game greatswords. I think it was the Mendicant King greatsword, which in my opinion has the best armor in the game, and there is also going to be a Dendrith themed greatsword as well that you're going to be able to get your hands on, as well as they've confirmed bow variants coming with a Ode bow concept. And then they showed another bow variant at the very end of the dev stream. They never said what it was, so I guess we can only assume what it might be, but the design was really fucking nice. Now, they are also reworking how sieges work in game. Sieges are being rebuilt with a proper rating system. Performing well in these sieges will increase your infamy level with the Ode, which are the enemies. Failing or bailing early on them will lower it, and infamy will eventually drive enemy aggression and make things a little bit harder. And they might also unlock special faction rewards in future updates as well. Enclaves or factions are being rebalanced as well, so that you can earn higher reputation. There's going to be better offerings and scaling rewards based on, I guess, the tier and enemy level that you're up against, which is bloody great because right now the biggest grind in the game is literally for factions, and it is incredibly painful. So to hear that they're actually rebalancing that and making it a little bit more manageable is definitely welcome. Now, they are also adding fast travel into the game, since I guess the mount hasn't been added yet. Basically, once you complete the Bromius quest, you're going to get those Webbit seeds, which you see during the quest, and you're going to be able to harvest them and then consume one of them, see this really cool animation, and then you can fast travel to any of the world trees on the map that you have cleansed. Now, they aren't going to be something that you're going to be spamming throughout your day. You are going to have to find these seeds and craft them, so I guess you're only going to use them whenever you really need to go from one side of the map to the complete other side, because they are basically limited. They also said the map itself is getting a cleaner pass. There's going to be less clutter, clearer markers, easier to find the Agari sub-bosses, the sieges, the dungeon entrances, and of course the Ode structures. And the overworld itself is getting more of an Ode presence, where there's going to be more Ode walls, camps, obstructions, and so on, to show that the world itself has been invaded by the Ode, or it is being occupied by the Ode. Character customization is being reworked as well, or expanded on, to make you look better and give you more options. They are also reworking the early tutorial so that you can, as a new player, get clear guidance from the beach to your first world tree, and then you'll be able to test all of the 3 beginner pacts and their weapons before committing to one and deciding which one you actually want to run with. Now, on top of this, there was also plenty of quality of life changes being added, like there is going to be an option to always have the compass visible, which is huge. Revives are also being added to the game, similar to what Warframe has. They've also added a new character which is going to operate the same way the store does in Warframe. This one is a camel called Zenith, or aka Capitalism Camel. And this is where you will buy all of your founder items or anything like weapon slots and character slots and so on. Again, like I said, just the same as Warframe. Now, everything, like I said, with the Preludes lands on the 25th of November. So if you want to purchase one of those founders packs, then that's when you're going to be able to do it, if you want to jump into the game and get any of these, I guess, not so exclusive items to begin with, especially that Paragon sword. Now, since the game itself is early access or pre-alpha Preludes, there is a lot of exploring to do. There is a lot of finding stuff out for yourself. But if you want tutorials or you want guides on how to do things, there is an incredibly good Soulframe channel called Sarah Loves Archery, which I'm going to link in the description of this video, and I'm going to pin it as the top comment as well. Go check her channel out, and she will teach you everything you need to know about Soulframe from the minute you first jump into the game until you have completed most of the current content. But that's pretty much the Soulframe Devstream Founders Pack, November the 25th. Have a great day, have a great weekend, and as always, thanks for watching.